Hi everyone, it's Mich here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of the Junk Journal July 2024. Use the hashtag and you can find others who are participating in the challenge. The one that I'm doing is Meg Journals has set a list of prompts. So you can find that on her channel, and I will link the description, the video in my description box below. So today the prompt that Meg has set is postcard. So yesterday, if you did catch my video yesterday, I did kind of say I was going to do this challenge with a little bit of a twist to make it a little bit more meaningful for myself. So there's her prompt, but then I'm also going to do a daily affirmation and try to make it my spread kind of around that affirmation, as well as doing kind of different techniques and things that maybe I haven't done for a while. So somebody asked me about, I think it was Lynn, asked me about the spinner wheel. So the spinner wheel doesn't choose your affirmation. What I did is I chose 31 kind of keywords that I wanted to create an affirmation around, and then I just randomly put those words in the spinner. So you need to put your names, or for in my instance, my word in, and then you just get it to spin, and then it will randomly choose your person, your word. So then I just went along and removed the one and wrote down my affirmation theme. So then once I had all my keywords down, I then went and wrote my affirmations for the month. So this is, I've kind of obviously need to be prepared so that I have my affirmation and I know from one day to the next what my affirmation is going to be. So that's kind of how I did the wheel, the spinner wheel. So today the prompt is a postcard, and my affirmation is around trust. So I did want to do something that I haven't done for a while. So to start off with, I just made a little pocket that I'm gonna, just a little folder pocket that I'm gonna put my postcard in. So I just took a piece of paper and then just collaged, made it like I guess like a master board on top of it. Just collaged some scrap papers. Before I started the challenge, I have a little tote that I got at Michael's that I just threw a bunch of scrap pieces of paper in, so that I'm not having to spend all kinds of effort every day trying to find little bits that I want to use for the challenge. So I'm just going to get that down there. And I already put a little bit of lace there, and I started to do that and then thought, oh gosh, let's get taping, videoing. So I got this lace. I thought I got it at the dollar store, but I think I got it at Atlantic Fabrics. So I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we don't have a lot of craft stores around. We do have the dollar store, Michael's, and then we have Atlantic Fabrics, and they have your normal kind of stuff that a fabric store has, but they also have some scrapbook supplies and hobbies stuff. So I sometimes like to go over. They got a lot of nice seasonal stuff as well. So okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and just so that it doesn't stick for right now, I'm just gonna stick this piece of scrap paper. Okay, so yesterday I also showed some other journals that I still create in from time to time when I get the chance. So actually my watercolor one is kind of finished, the Plan With Me one, but my Women of 1,000 Faces and whatever, I still try to do that from time to time. But something else that I always like doing is I like doodling and just doing little, I guess you'd kind of say Zentangle type things. So I have a number of just little notebooks I keep by my chair in the living room when I'm watching television that I kind of feel like I just want to do a little bit of doodling. I also do Celtic I guess this one isn't one of my doodle ones. I like to do the Celtic design, so I kind of play with that sometimes, and I have a book on that. And then I like this guy, and I think he's on Instagram as well as YouTube. I'm not sure, but it's Hu-Art, H-U Art, and he does all the little boxed ones. So I kind of like sitting and doing some with him, and some I've just did them on my own. Like, just once you do kind of one, you randomly go on and do something else. So I've been kind of in the mood to do some doodling. So that's what I sat down to do. So I thought we would do that now. I've already kind of penciled it in, and I'll probably speed this process up, and I hope my head doesn't get in the way, but I wanted to just kind of draw and do my own postcard type thing. And I was watching a while ago, forget her art, I think it's Zen, Moments of Zen, I think her YouTube channel is called. And she did a section on just kind of flowers. Now, Zen, she's a Zentangled certified and trainer, I guess they're called. And so her channel's about the Zentangle, basically. And with Zentangle, flowers really aren't part of the actual Zentangle because it's representational. And apparently true Zentangling is just about being calm and not actually trying to represent a flower or something. And I'm trying not to get my head in the way here. But she did do a series on sort of like a Zentangle type flower. And I think when you do something like that, it's called Zia. It's not truly Zentangle. But I kind of thought so last night I was sitting and I was kind of thinking about my affirmation for today. And that's what I thought I would like to do, is just sit and do some flowered postcards. And as I'm doing my postcard, I'll think about my affirmation. So my affirmation for today is, got to remember it now here, I already have it written down. I trust in the power of the universe to guide me. I trust in the power of the universe to guide me. And sometimes when, I don't know, not necessarily things don't go to plan, but sometimes I guess it's about having faith as well. So as I was doing this in pencil, and I like to do it in pencil first just because I hope my head's not stuck in the way. Just because, you can erase, and sometimes when I'm doing like the little doodling in my little notebooks, I don't do it in pencil, but I kind of want this to be, not, I was going to say not full of mistakes, but I don't think there's really a lot of mistakes in this type of thing, because it's all, you can make it work. And speaking of work, I got off work a little while ago. Here in Halifax right now, we have a boil water order on. So when I got up this morning, I went into the fridge and got out my Brita filter and took the filter out of that and dumped the water down the sink. And then I boiled a pot of water. I had some bottled water. I always try to have some water on hand at all times, just for cases like this, especially when you live where we have winters the way that we do, and heavens knows if something is going to freeze up. So I boiled some water. I emptied out the Brita filter. It was time for my filter to be changed anyway. So I did that before work, and then I have a Keurig, so and that filter was need to be changed too, so there wasn't very much water in that, so I just dumped the water out of that and put a new little filter in there and put my boiled water. We only have to boil it for 1 minute, and apparently there was some issue that some unchlorinated water got into the system. I think there was a power outage and it didn't automatically reset. So now they're trying to figure out what to do next, how to flush the system. So until they do that, we're going to be boiling our water. And that means any water that you use for infant formulas, for drinking, brushing your teeth, rinsing vegetables or fruit. Sometimes people forget about the brushing your teeth part, but the thing about that is that when you brush your teeth, you inadvertently do swallow some water. But not only that, is the toothbrush, unless it's really soft, can cause little micro abrasions on your gums and can allow bacteria to get in, especially if it's untreated. But I was telling one of my friends at work today that in general we go on blind faith anyway, as far as the authorities go, because how do we know that things are really safe? We don't really, but we just have trust. So today started out quite chilly this morning, which I was really pleased about, because last night when I went to bed, it was so muggy and warm in the house that I had trouble falling asleep. I had the window open, the fan on. Chester, he can sleep through. He doesn't seem to have, even with his big old fur coat, he doesn't really seem to have a lot of issues until it gets really hot. I just find doing stuff like this is just very it's just a good little meditative practice, I think. And don't worry about getting it all wrong. And if you haven't really done something like this, it does sometimes take a little practice. But then one day it just clicks. And just go slow. I'm watching a couple shows on telly now. One is Alone Australia. I just finished season 2. And boys, did I have admiration for Gina, who won, because she was awesome. So now, oops, if you hadn't seen it, sorry. Spoiler alert. I should say that beforehand. But now I've started watching season 2. And I'm just getting into it today, or yesterday. It's been raining here all weekend. Yesterday it cleared a bit, but I didn't hear it was Canada Day yesterday. And I didn't hear very many fireworks. I'm not really sure what kind of happened with that. And where I'm at, I can usually hear them from downtown. But so I'm kind of not sure what happened. I don't mind the fireworks. Actually, I like fireworks. I don't usually go down and see them nowadays, and Chester, he doesn't mind them, so So the pen that I'm using is a Micron 0.1. Now, the PN is really good. The PN means plastic nib, and that's a really good pen. However, on this paper that I'm using, I'm just using some cardstock, and I find that it bleeds some. So I switched to this one because it wasn't bleeding so much. And today was a beautiful day. As I said, this morning I thought, oh gosh, it's going to be a hot and humid day today. But as soon as I got up, I opened all the windows. And it's just been a lovely day. It's just started to heat up there this afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock now. I finished work at 4 and thought I would get this sorted out so that we can do our affirmation for today and then start planning for tomorrow. I already kind of know what I want to do for tomorrow, so that's good. And it's supposed to be sunny the next few days. All right, and then we'll do our cherries. My grandmother, when I was growing up in Somerville, Hants County, she had these great big cherry trees. And we used to love going down and climbing up in the cherry trees. And the only time I ever saw her angry was when we'd get up way up into the tree, and she didn't care about the tree. She was just upset that we'd fall. But we never did. We were like monkeys. I used to love climbing trees. Hooking my legs upside down and hooking my knees over the limb and hanging upside down. Couldn't do that now, I don't think. Actually, I know I couldn't do it now. Okay, so we're coming to the end. I'll try to link, I think her name is Kelly Bouton, who does the Zentangle flowers. The flowers that I've done here, I think she has done them all. In that it's I think she does 24 little videos, about 15 or 20 minutes long. That gives you a better idea. This little guy, this little caterpillar, I just thought I'd add him. And it's just the little embellishments that you do that kind of add the little grass. I got a little bee here. Of course, be happy. Okay, so then, oh, and I got a little dragonfly up here. And he's got like a little curlicue. And this little bee will make a little path for him from the flower. Okay, so before I erase out my pencil marks, I'm just going to make sure that that's good and dry. So I've also done a couple other ones that I was just playing with last night. So I've got this one done. And I am going to send, and I've got one that I've penciled out today on my lunch break. I did a couple of these today on my lunch break because it doesn't take long to pencil them out. And I am going to send out a couple of these to some of you guys. So if I have your address, then I do have some other happy mail that I'm going to send out. So I'm just going to send out a couple of these. I'll finish up the little details later, because I think it's kind of the little details that really set the flowers apart. I could have also taken my colored pencils or watercolors. One of the good things about the Micron pens is that they are waterproof. So once you need to make sure it's good and dry though. But once it's good and dry, then you can do like a watercolor them in, color pencils. Now I didn't really want to do that. I just liked the effect of the black and white, so I've just left that. So you can see that kind of bled a little bit there. So yeah, so the one that I'm going to put in my journal is this one here. So I really liked all the little details in it. So I really love that one. And then I've already written on the back, I trust in the power of the universe to guide me. And as I was doing my little doodles and stuff, I was kind of thinking about my affirmation. I could have also decorated the back, put some flowers on, but to be honest, I wanted my affirmation just to stand out on its own. And then if I want to, at a later date, pick it out and look at it, then it will all be there for me. And then it's funny because this was just a part of my scraps. I didn't actually put that circle there. So once I saw the circle, I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do for the circle. I'm just going to make a little doodle. So I made this little flower. I took out my punch and I did a little scallop punch. And then I put my little flower in there. I'm going to put that little flower in there. And that, I believe, is it for today. So I hope you liked that this little crafty moment. Maybe it's given you an idea or an inspiration to try a few doodles. And, you know, don't ever think, oh, I couldn't do something like that. Because until you try, you'll never know. And it's, you know, sometimes it's just about practice. So great. Well, I hope you have a great evening. And until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and well. And thanks for joining me. Bye for now.